Trout eat more than just aquatic insects. They also eat bugs like grasshoppers, cicadas, and ants. These are insects that live on land and then get blown into the water. We refer to these as terrestrials. I've caught some of my most memorable, biggest fish on terrestrial patterns, and there are few things more exciting than watching a big old fish come up and explode a foam hopper. And the more us fly anglers know about these bugs, the more fish we're gonna put in the net. Not every bug a fish eats is an aquatic insect, one that grows up and hatches in the water. Some are terrestrial insects, which spend their entire life on land and then somehow end up in the river. Grasshoppers, ants, and cicadas are the terrestrial insects that you'll find most often in the water, although crickets and beetles may be present as well. These guys usually end up in the water if they get blown in by a stiff wind, or if they take a wrong step when they're hanging out in bushes and trees near the water. When they do fall in the river, these are a high ticket meal item for fish. That's because terrestrials haven't adapted to being in the water. They're not like mayflies or caddis or midges. When a grasshopper falls on the water, it's completely helpless, and fish love that. So when do we expect terrestrials to be out and about? Cicadas are the first terrestrial insect to become available to fish, becoming active in late May or early June, depending on the weather. After cicadas wrap up and once runoff is over, ants become a big ticket meal item to fish all the way into early fall. Grasshoppers don't become available until later in the summer, usually towards the end of July. Fish might eat them before then, but the best hopper fishing is from the end of July into September. And that first big freeze of the year will usually put hoppers down. Now let's talk about the fly patterns that I use to imitate terrestrials. These are what I keep in my box throughout the summer. Chubby Chernobyls, Amy's ants, Moorish hoppers, cicadas, bionic ants, sunken ants, hippie stompers, and the royal flush. Now that we've got a solid understanding of terrestrials, let's go watch fish blow up some bugs.
It's late summer, some might even call it early fall, and I'm out here on the water, so I'm keeping my rig nice and simple. We've just got a single hopper that I've tied on, just a chubby Chernobyl. I think this is a size 10, and I've got about an 8-foot leader. You can always go shorter with your leaders when fishing big hoppers. It can definitely make casting those big wind-resistant bugs a lot easier. This isn't the biggest hopper though, so I've opted to keep my leader about 8 feet long because we are going to be fishing some complex water, so I want to be able to get that fly in there without drag, and having a longer leader helps me do that. All right, enough chit chat. Let's go catch a fish. So I'm trying to get my fly on the seams and then in the calmer water. This water is moving very quickly. This is a steep river, so the fish will hang out in the calm water. If you can find any pockets, the fish are going to be there. Oh, eat it! Oh! I said, well, come refuse it. So a refusal with a hopper can mean the same things that it means with any other dry fly. Either something about the presentation was off, or the fly was off, or maybe, since this water is clear enough, the fish came up and saw me and got spooked, said, huh, I'm not eating if that weird guy's out there. One of the nice things of fishing with hoppers is the fish, if they're going to eat them, will take them fairly quickly. So you don't have to sit here and work water for 10, 15 minutes. You get a few good drifts, they don't eat it, you move on. One of the things that is great about fishing with hoppers is that they are a big ticket meal item to fish. They react to hoppers the way that I react to chicken wings. They will move to get them, and I will move to eat a wing. We've talked before about fish wanting to work as little as possible for the most amount of food. And that's true. But a hopper is a high value meal item. They will move to eat these bad boys. That's part of what makes hopper fishing so much stinking fun. The best piece of water, in my opinion, is over there close to the bank. Now, something else with hopper fishing is a lot of the times they're hanging out on trees or on the grass right next to the bank, and they'll fall in. So the closer you can get a hopper to the bank sometimes, the better off you're gonna be. If there's ever a good bankside lie, you wanna hit that with your hopper, because chances are the fish are gonna smack it. I'm gonna dispense some wisdom for y'all right now. Sometimes when you're fishing, you get skunked. And sometimes you get skunked on camera for the entire world to see. And sometimes you get skunked on camera while trying to educate. And people start to question, does this guy even know how to fish? Valid point. But here's what Instagram doesn't tell you. All right? Getting skunked's part of it. You see all these guys out there catching hogs every day. They're fishing stock ponds, right? Where those giant fish literally are dumped off the hatchery truck and into the river. They'll eat anything. Yeah, they'll eat a pellet fly, for crying out loud. You talk to real fly anglers, people who are out in it with wild trout, man. Getting skunk's the name of the game. In fact, you could argue it's more impressive to get skunked than it is to catch a fish. Doesn't make for as good a video, though. There we go. Crushed it. Alex, does that count? You know what? Spencer won. Fish, probably like that many now. So that was kind of interesting what happened with that fish though. He took it right after I twitched this hopper a bit. That's something I haven't done yet, but sometimes the fish prefer a little bit of movement of action to these big terrestrials, because if you watch how these terrestrials are in the water, they don't just sit still. They're kicking their legs, they're trying to get back to shore. They're trying to get back into the trees, and I just put that one there. So, yeah, I'm imitating the heck out of these things.